Welcome to another Friday? Well, I guess it isn't just another Friday because I'm sitting here and the screen behind me says Monday. That only happens when we have a major premiere, and that we did. Doors opened last night to early showings of Episode 8 in the Skywalker saga of the Star Wars franchise. The Last Jedi is supposed to bring in upwards of $200 million this weekend, and so far most of the critics have been singing some praise. So how does it fall in line with the series? Well, I'm about to give you my take, and don't worry, I'm going to be as vague as possible. The last thing I want is people storming the station with pitchforks because I gave anything away. So without any further ado, here's a spoiler-less review of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Our film picks up exactly where the last one left off. After the destruction of the Starkiller base, the Resistance is fleeing from the First Order, who have discovered their location. Rey has found Luke Skywalker on the remote island he exiled himself to, and Kylo Ren / Ben Solo has lost some favor with Supreme Leader Snoke after being bested by Rey, even though he did kill his father. Throughout the film, we constantly switch back and forth between Rey trying to convince Luke to return and help the Resistance in attempts of the Resistance to evade the grasp of the First Order in order to rally their allies scattered around the galaxy. As the movie progresses, we see Luke recognize the power that is in Rey, and although it terrifies him by reminding him of his last failure, he decides to guide her in the ways of the Force. The action continues to escalate as we see all of our favorite characters from The Force Awakens playing their own roles in the different missions occurring, and we see some new characters popping up whether we care for them or not. We get to see all the staples we expect from a good Star Wars film: epic space battles, lightsaber shenanigans, internal struggles, and of course the horrific aim of stormtroopers. Just when you think everything is calming down, more action erupts, keeping your pulse racing. We as the audience are immersed, whether in awe or disappointment, but one thing is for certain, and that is that these movies bring us together. So, there you have it. I gave absolutely nothing away there except what is seen in the trailers. You're welcome. Now, what did I think of it? When I reviewed The Force Awakens, I enjoyed it, but knew that people were going to complain that it is a remake of the original Star Wars. That is not going to happen here. This in no way really resembles The Empire Strikes Back. I have always been a huge Star Wars fan, and I find it amazing that when the opening music starts and the crawl begins, I still get goosebumps and cheer along with everyone else in the theater. This movie is 2 hours and 32 minutes long. 1 hour and 45 minutes of it are amazing and really pull you into the Star Wars universe and make you giddy and nostalgic for childhood. 45 minutes of it are painful, and I found myself getting mad that I was watching everything bad about the prequels squished into one part of this film. That being said, once you get past that annoyance, you have an amazing ride in front of you all the way to the end credits. Did you have any questions after The Force Awakens? Well, if you did, they're probably not going to get answered in this one, and they just kind of get swept away. My other complaint is that they got a little too hammy with the comic relief. Some of it is hilarious, but then it just keeps coming until it's just a little overbearing. One thing is for sure, the movie takes some turns, which definitely makes you wonder where they're going in the third installment. And I, for one, can't wait for it. It'll be interesting to see how J.J. Abrams ties up where Rian Johnson took his original movie. I'm not going to convince anyone to go or not to go to this movie. You know whether or not you'll enjoy it. Just make sure that either walking in or out of the theater, you have to give a nice big This has been your special edition of the Monday Movie Musing. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Matt. Coming up, Tyler has one last look at your 7-day forecast.